Hello and welcome back to FemmeTarot, you beautiful people. And I'm not, oh, I messed up my intro already because I just wanted to start off with just saying how excited I am that you guys are the most beautiful people I know. But enough. Welcome back to FemmeTarot. I'm Natalie, your international psychic medium. And over here, we don't do fluff. We cut straight to the truth. And we're definitely going to be cutting straight to the truth today because today's topic, which is related to the Epstein of it all. And now we have JayZ's name along with Pusha T's name popping up in the rest of the Epstein files. I want to go back to remind you what I said a year ago when I did a reading, a deep dive into the Epstein files and Epstein himself and Ghislaine Maxwell as well. And I did say that those files are going to take a long time for the full, all of the files to be made public. And of course, I don't remember how many pages have been released now, but they have been redacted. And according to, I believe the CIA or the government, it is because they are trying to protect the victims. I get that. 100%, especially those victims that haven't come forward to say or share with the public that they are Epstein's victims or have been victimized by Epstein's friends. So I get that. But my feeling is still they're holding back the most critical, if you will, evidence that they found. And we won't know about this, or we won't find out about this for a few years. And I've said this all along, that we're just being shown and they're releasing bits and pieces, and we're all trying to, connect all the puzzle pieces together. It's all done on purpose. It's all done on purpose. The other thing that I want to say before we start, and we say hello to the chat, and you know how what the drill's like here. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is that as soon as I saw that they released the rest of the files, I was like, uh-oh, does this mean that DJT, Donald Trump, is about to attack Iran? You know why? Because if he puts out those files, and we know that his name has shown up a lot in those files, that as soon as people start diving in and start talking about it, there's going to be a big distraction. I say this intuitively. So don't be surprised if it happens, or something related to Iran happens next week, next few days, next few hours, who knows? But I'm just saying, okay, because that's going to be the biggest distraction of them all, because that's what everyone's going to start talking about. That it's going to get drowned on Google search and SEO. So that's how it works. I'm just saying that, we've got to be aware that this may happen, and it's all about timing. It's all about timing. Nothing is left to just chance. All right. It's all about timing. All right. Before we start the reading, also a big reminder, not a big reminder. I'm all over the place today, you guys. As I said, as I posted earlier on the community tab, we're having the storm. So there's another storm today. If you remember, there was another one 10 days ago on my birthday, which is why I couldn't go live. And they said this one's going to be worse than that one, the one that we had 10 days ago. I'm a bit on standby because, as you remember, I had leaks from that wall there. I'm just looking at it. All right. It was leaking onto my equipment. So I'm a bit discombobulated because I was worried, because it did start raining. It's quite strong, but it's not that bad, at least not yet. So yeah. That's why I'm a little bit all over the place. But don't worry, as soon as we start the reading, I'll be in the zone and I'll be ready to receive information. But hello, you beautiful Femme Village, the Femme, the Femmies. Love to see you here every Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too, Isa. Happy February to all. Yes, indeed. It is the first of the month. I mean, January felt like a whole year, to be honest, to me. I was like, what? It was just like 31 days. It felt like 131 days, I'll be honest. So much going on indeed. Hello, happy first of the month to you too, beautiful. Hello, beautiful Ashley. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching. This is an international community. So, from all over the world, you are watching this live right now. Thank you, Val. Hello. Happy Sunday. You did make it. Hello to you too, Danielle or Danny. You are all amazing. We're all looking forward to this reading because, all right. So I'm going to also remind you, hold on, give me a second. I don't know where that went. That was, hold on. All righty. Okay. So once we're done with this live and we talk about the connection, if there is one, we'll get into things between JayZ and Epstein and generally the elites. All right. I just want to remind you that you should go and watch this video here, which was recorded in 2024. So a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I don't remember when exactly in 2024. But I do get into the JayZ, the energy of JayZ and Bay. And I did mention in that video that I did see them moving. They would move out of the US and probably move somewhere else, Europe or somewhere else. That did indeed happen because I believe a few months ago there was there were posts and articles saying that the Carters basically are moving. And this is something that we're seeing with the Hollywood, the elites, the Hollywood people, the celebrities. They're all moving out of the US. Why, you may ask? Well, maybe because everything's just come to a head. And now the light is shedding truth to the shadows. And they're all scared. They're like mice jumping out of a sinking ship. That's what's happening. So this is interesting that now JayZ's name has been or is in the Epstein files. So we're going to look at that as well. Today, we will be looking at Dulce Maria Alavez. Sorry, I keep calling her Alvarez. My apologies. Alavez. All right, we are going to be looking. I already connected, so I do have clues as to what is going on and what happened and who did this and all of that. So we'll get to that towards the end of this live. So do stick around if you're interested in true crime, and let's help find this girl, because I'll just give you a tip before we start. She's alive. She's alive, and I was so relieved. But we need to find her, or the authorities, or us, the world. You know what it's like here online. Like when we all come together, we can actually do miracles. We can do so much. So let's try and find this little girl, because what I got was disturbing. All right, but first we'll look at JayZ, not JayZ and Bay. I'm going to look specifically at JayZ and whether he's associated or was associated with Epstein or Epstein's network. Was he on the island? Is it true what a lot of people are saying or are assuming or they are suspecting? We'll look into that. I have to bring up my banner, but just a reminder, okay? Everything that we say here is based off of my psychic insights, and these are my opinions. These are all for entertainment purposes only and not based on facts. I have to put this disclaimer out before we start because the carders and JayZ specifically is quite litigious. All right. So we need to be careful. We need to be careful. All right. So this week has been awful, let me just say. Also, regarding things that are happening here in Greece where I'm living, uh, it's horrible. The energy is so low and so dark. I don't really think that I want to spend too much time sharing with you what happened this week or the beginning of this week here in Greece, which has everyone shooketh and everyone talking about it. And it did affect me. It was a car accident. It was a horrible car accident, right? 7 people. There were 10 people. There were 10 passengers on this van. All right. And we do have videos of the crash because of the dash cam of the lorry that was behind it, or the truck that was behind the car. Horrific, disgusting, awful. You see we're not going to get into it, but why it affected me was it reminded me very much, or it brought back memories from my brother's car accident, which happened back in 2007, August of 2007. Very similar. Luckily, my brother and the passengers in that car did survive, barely, I have to say, barely. It took my brother 8 months to recover, right? And my sister was in the car as well, and her boyfriend was this close of getting paralyzed. And it was, but there are a lot of similarities with that. So the reason why I bring it up, because this week has been awful. Okay. It's been dark. And for me specifically, because when you see the video being shown everywhere, everyone's talking about it, everyone's shocked, it's a whole thing. It just kept bringing back up those like memories, because I was the first one who rushed to the hospital to see my brother. They called me from the hospital, and so it was very disturbing. So yeah, but okay, that energy generally is going to clear up in February, so it's going to be less dark, less death centered, if you will. Yeah, just wanted to bring that up because I like to share everything with you. So I just wanted to share that because that like really dampened my whole week, to be honest, because these were like young men who were off. They were on a road trip basically to go watch their favorite football team in France. And yeah, they were all young. They were all like under 30 years old. Some were like 21. The oldest was 28 or 30. I'm not sure. I mean, of the ones that didn't survive. So yeah, but I want one thing before we start. One thing that's amazing about this story, this incident. Okay, so three young men, not boys, 3 young men survived. And if you watch the video, and if you watch the video, or if you see pictures of the car, what it looked like afterwards when first responders arrived at the scene, you'd say, oh my God, there is no way anyone could have survived this. That was me as well. I was like, there's no way. One of them walked out of the, you can't even tell this car anymore, just walked out unscathed with a few bruises here and there. He walked out. He's the one who called the police and the first responders and informed them about the car accident. This happened in Romania. And when I read that, I was like, this is incredible. This young boy, because I connected. This young boy, he's 22 or 23. This young boy, he was lifted from the car. Someone, his guides, his angels, someone lifted him off the car and he survived. Let me tell you what he said. It's incredible how spirit works. He, when I believe when he was 12 or 13, his mom passed. His mom passed. And what he said at the hospital, because everyone was shocked, like, how did you survive without any visible wounds? He said his mom pulled him out of the car. He saw his mom and he felt like something sucked him out of the car. Amazing. The reason I bring this up is because that's exactly what my brother said. We were all like, how, we were in shock, but we couldn't believe that my brother survived because most of the impact happened. My brother was driving, happened on his side, driver's side. You know what my brother said? I saw our grandma. He felt grandma hugging him right those split seconds before impact. She felt grandma, our grandmother, hugging him. And my brother survived. Granted, it was bad. He was in bad shape, but he survived. He's walking, he's talking, everything's fine now. But it took a long time for recovery. But it's incredible. If it's not your time, and I'm sure a lot of people may relate, but if it's not your time, if you don't choose, remember I've talked about the 5 exits. We have 5 exits. When we start planning our life, our life contract just before we enter our physical bodies, we have 5 exit points where we choose which exit point we're going to use to exit and go back home, which is the spirit world. And it's incredible when you choose not to, even in such a horrific, let's say, car accident or situation. Remember, you guys, remember the flight, what was it, Air India? And there was one survivor. There was also one survivor with a plane crash, which was Egypt Air. This was years ago, I believe in the 90s, early 2000s that happened. People were like, how is that possible? Well, it's possible. If your soul decides, I'm not going, angels, your loved ones, they're going to come in and they're going to help you. If your soul, your higher self says, no, this is not the time to go, you're going to have help, reinforcements for that. And this case, this incident with the car accident, my brothers too, me, I don't know if I've ever shared this, and we'll get to the reading. I know everyone's like anxious or anticipating the reading. We'll get to that. This is a live. We love to chat first and also give time for people to enter the chat. But I also had, I don't know if I've shared this, I believe I have in the past, where I was supposed to be on a plane, right? I was like 12 years old. No, somewhere between 10 and 12. And I was supposed to be on a plane to go visit some relatives on an island. And the day of the flight, I had a bad feeling. I had a dream. I saw my guides, but back when you're a child, you don't know, right? You think it's a dream. But my guides came to me in my dream and they showed me what would happen. And in the morning, I woke up and I was staying at my grand's then, the same grand that hugged my brother. And I told her, I'm not flying. I don't want to go. She's like, what are you talking about? Your aunts and uncles are waiting for you, your cousins. You're going to have a great time. It was summertime. I said, I don't want to go. 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 I'm not going. I want to stay here, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, that plane crashed in a mountain. Yeah. So always listen to your intuition. Always have faith that your guides, your angels, your spirit team is around you. They do listen. They don't have free will, but you can ask. Always ask. Okay? Always ask for what you want. Don't expect. Just ask. Voice what it is you want. A sign, protection, guidance, whatever it may be, ask for it. All right. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Val. But no, it was a disturbing week for me. Let me just say, I actually asked my dad if he had pictures of the accident, my brother's accident. But my dad said, "Are you crazy? I'm not gonna." He saved it until the insurance investigation and everything was done, and then he said, "I deleted it. I don't want to. I don't want to um, ever see that ever again, because I wanted to show you, for as an example, like how miracles, what we call miracles, happen. They're not miracles. They're basically, it's not your time. You decide it's not your time. Just like with my brother, just like with those three young men on that in that car. All right. So just have faith in spirit always. Always, always, always. As he says, it's been dark in the US too, very low vibrational. I know it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. All right, let's get to our reading. I'll bring up, as per usual, this is also for timestamp purposes. Let me bring it up real quick. Where is it? There it is. All right, so let's get to the JayZ of it all. I want to do a deep dive on JayZ, but I will do this on a member's live because I want to be able to feel that I'm free to say things the way that I receive them without worrying about being my channel being getting in trouble, me getting in legal trouble or any of that, because there's a lot that I want to share with you guys and I want to do live readings. So I'm going to do that ASAP. I know that I've said this several times, but it's always trying to find time. As you know, guys, it's with me, it's always finding time to do more of YouTube. And that's my whole goal here. I am trying to do more YouTube more often, but I'll get to that. But at the moment, I'm so booked out with the readings that where did my banner go? That I just don't have that much time. All right, so regarding the JayZ of it all, I want to talk about it before we start throwing the cards, because I did go on Reddit, as you do when things like this come out. Okay, first of all, I went to Reddit because I wanted to find those files. I didn't want to go to the official link, okay, and just try to find it. It was easier for me to go on Reddit, search there, and find what was said or what was in those files about JayZ. So I pulled a couple of things. One of them is this one. You can't read it, but I will bring up more a better, like, the paragraph or the text that mentioned JayZ. I'm going to bring it up, which is here, and I'll read it for you. In approximately 1996, redacted resided with redacted in redacted, an unknown man abducted redacted from her home, whence she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known as JayZ, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into redacted. So this person believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. So when she woke up, or when she was lucid again. So and she believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida each occasion. She believed she was drugged, clouding her memory. Her name is redacted, attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers. We've talked a lot about handlers, whom she described as persons who established friendships with the victims. Among her handlers, redacted identified the artist Pusha T. The hip hop world is shocked, by the way. In approximately 2007, redacted attended a party, redacted, following an invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down a street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her before engaging in sexual abuse. I want to say that Reddit, okay, especially if you go on the hip hop Reddit threads, they're all like, this can't be possible. JayZ was not even that famous back in 1997. Why would he be rubbing shoulders with all these elites? Why would he be connected to Weinstein or Epstein? You know, people are not believing it. The same with Pusha T. They're like, unbelievable. Like, this is the first time the Pusha's name has been out there, has been put out there. There's a lot of disbelief about it. Okay. And to be honest, we are going to listen. We have to be as fair as possible. And I will ask the cards. I will ask my guides what's going on. But I don't, it's possible that that this is true, but it's also possible that it's not true. What I find interesting, though, is that, again, what I said earlier is the timing. It's the timing of why they drop things now and why those names are in those files. Why didn't they drop those files like months ago when they dropped the first batch of files? Why did they have to wait to do it now? So I connected my guides, and I'm going to throw the cards and we'll do the reading here as always. And I'll tell you what I heard. All right. I heard that the reason why JayZ's, let's forget about Pusha for a minute, okay? This is about JayZ. The reason why JayZ's name is in the files and the reason why it came up now is because they're after him. The elites, yes, 100%. The Freemasons he rubs shoulders with or mingles with, 100%. So this is a clear warning to the carders, specifically to JayZ. He's next. Remember what I said last year or the year before when the whole Diddy stuff went down, the lawsuits, all of it? I said JayZ's next. They're going to go after him next. Diddy's career is dead. That's it. He's not coming back. Back from this. See that? As soon as I said that, every time I talk about Diddy or his mom, it's just something physically happens to me. But he's not coming back from this. Yes, he's going to come out of jail. And I've said this, I don't see him coming out of jail because there's a lot that can happen from now till 3 years from now when he's supposed to come out of jail because there's more lawsuits coming in and worse accusations. All right. And I said, JayZ's next. And here we go. This is the beginning of the end. Why do you think they're moving? Why do you think they're moving? Because he knows what's coming. And this is the beginning of the end. And I do believe that with JayZ, and again, it's my opinion based off of my psychic insights, that I'm not sure time-wise, like when, but I believe either the end of this year or the first half of next year, 2027, JayZ is going to meet a very, very, how can I say this? He's down, he's not going to be part of that group. He's going to get physically ill. He's going to get a lot of hate and backlash, and he's going to be ostracized from the industry, music industry, from those circles. They're scrambling anyway, those circles. By the way, while I'm talking, my stomach right now, it's in knots. I don't know why, but that's because I'm connected to JayZ for this reading, for this live. So I will pull cards, but I just wanted to share what I had. Please do watch that video after this one. And I believe I have one more. If you go on my channel and you type in the search bar JayZ, or Beyonce or even Diddy, because I've done some readings. I've read JayZ in videos where I talk about Diddy. So yes. Did I don't know if, no, it was for both. Like they're both moving, and we know this because they did come out and say it, that they are moving, and I believe they're moving to the UK specifically. All right. They will try to come back, or at least Beyonce will try to come back in a few years' time or move back. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So yeah, the release is strategic to take other people down as a distraction. It's a distraction for Trump. So meaning not for Trump, but it's, well, yeah, it is. It is for Trump, but Trump is going to create a big distraction with Iran, and maybe even the whole Greenland thing is going to come back up. It's going to be back on the table, although I don't see him doing anything with Greenland. I've said this from day one when he started last year, when he was threatening to take Greenland. I said this is not going to go anywhere. He cannot go. He's trying to dismantle the UN and NATO and Europe in general and create discourse in the EU, but I didn't see it happening. I don't see it happening. But the Iran thing, I did mention, and I did see all this happening with Iran, that there's going to be some form of attack the country, that he is going to get really involved, or America's going to get involved in this. I did say that in my video where I talk about the future of the USA. So if you haven't watched that either, maybe you should go watch that video, because I get into all that as well. All right, so already we have questions. I'm going to mark the questions. I'm highlighting the questions because I just want to start, as per usual, I want to look at JayZ's energy, especially now since all of this has come out. Is it true? Okay, the first thing is it true? Was he on the island? Was he rubbing shoulders with these people back in 1997? What is his connect? I just want to see what Spirit has to share with us today. Okay. Oh my God, you guys. I literally just picked up the deck to start shuffling, and this card jumped out like crazy. It is the 10 of Swords. It's the death card, my death card. All right. When I mean my readers read death in tarot, or endings or permanent endings differently. Some people, it could be the Tower, it could be the 10 of Swords, it could be the death card, it could even be Judgment card. Okay. So everyone reads differently the death or an ending. So this one just popped out as soon as I picked up the card. I didn't even ask the question in my head. I didn't even ask the question to my guides. And here we go. This is the beginning of the end of JayZ. This is not the literal, but the metaphorical death of JayZ, Sean Carter, aka JayZ. And it's clear as day here. It's clear as day. So people want him out one by one, something that I've said for a long time, one by one. They're all going to meet their downfall. Start with Diddy, JayZ, Clive, maybe Clive, but he's old now. So I don't know if that, but he's heavily connected, and he heavily orchestrated a lot of the evil stuff that these people were involved in. So yeah. So I'm just going to leave that card out and keep shuffling and asking the question. Show me Sean Carter right now. What can you tell me about? Another one flew out. Let me see. His businesses. Before I say, let me just pull the cards. Hold on. I'll just tell you exactly what I just heard and saw. This was a Jabba card too. Let me just pull the cards. I'll explain. I'm just showing you the cards as I'm pulling them, as I'm opening the cards for you. Three of Swords, Page of Swords, the Lovers. Let me explain now. Death. This one jumped out. This one jumped out straight after, which is the Six of Pentacles. Financially, I know you may not believe what I'm about to say, but he is in deep, deep financial trouble. He's invested in certain businesses or certain projects that are shady, in my opinion, or unethical. Or let me just say differently. I believe he's invested money in things that are not, there's a very fine line between what's ethical and unethical, if you know what I mean. And oh dear, I believe that aside from what came up on the files, the e-files, I believe this is where they're going to hit him first. Okay. Hit someone where it hurts most. And it's either businesses and money, finances and businesses is one. And the other one is family. Okay. If you want to harm someone, that's where you're going to hit, depending on who you're targeting. If you're an evil person. With JayZ, it's his businesses. It's his businesses. It's his money. I'll tell you this that I just heard from my guides. My guide said, and I've said this openly, and we've talked about this many a times, that Beyonce and JayZ, not only are they dark, low vibrational people, but they're also Illuminati, Freemasons, all of that in that circle of darkness, right? But also that Beyonce, especially Beyonce, she taught him magic, rituals, energy harvesting, taking someone's power away. Oh, yeah. But you know what? If you overdo it, even especially with dark magic, okay, the dark arts, you have to respect it. You have to respect it. You have to respect the arts, especially the dark arts. Because the thing about dark arts is you may be able to do rituals and manipulate and do manipulations and harm people through energy and darkness and magic. But a lot of people feed off of that, right? It's like a high. It's like feeling stoned and high. Because you know what? You feel you have power and you can control other people's lives and destroy other people's lives. So on that high, you want more and you want to do it to more. You want to use or manipulate bigger energy, stronger energy, darker energy. Okay? And when you do, you don't respect it. You try to manipulate the energy because you want to manipulate people. And if you don't know what you're doing exactly, if you're not a high priestess of some kind, who's a generational witch or a generational priestess, you're not protected from it. It means that you're not immune from it to turn around and find you. Because when you stop feeding it, when you stop feeding that energy, it needs food, it needs fuel. So it's going to come back to you. And this is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now. And it's hitting him where it hurts. Sorry, here, because it's mirrored here. Money, business, status. And we're going to start seeing all of this going down and unfolding. I'm highlighting some of the questions there as here as well, so I don't miss them because I'm not always looking at the chat. So let me just show you the other cards that I pulled. These were the jumper cards. I have the Three of Swords. As you know, Three of Swords is pain. Pain. Swords is being stabbed. It's like a slow death, if you will. It's heartbreak. It's painful disappointment. 3. So 3 people close to him betrayed him. Betrayed him. Page of Swords means that I read it because this is what I'm also hearing from my guides, his energy is weakening. It's starting to leave his body. Whatever he connected to and was channeling, both of them, him and his wife, Beyonce, has taken over. So he's becoming a shell of himself. Decisions, thoughts that he's making are not his. And I'm not excusing him. I'm just saying how it is. How it is, how I'm reading this energy. All right. I want to also mention that he does and I've said this on that video. You have to watch the video because I talk about them, about why those two got married, how they met. I get into it. But Beyonce, just like similar to the Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk story, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've done a couple of readings on Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk and Candace and all of that, right? She was supposed to be a handler initially. Not the other way around. Not the other way around. She was very young when she met him and they started dating. But she was also very naive. She was very naive. But things turned. They were supposed to be. I feel there's karma. It's karmic between them. It's very much karmic. And they help each other. And I don't mean in business and all that. I mean on an energy level. Okay, they're helping, especially Beyonce. She's much stronger energetically than he is. She is. But I believe that, and I've said this before, I believe Beyonce comes from a line of witches. So, of course, her energy is very strong and very well protected. Need I say more? The cards speak for themselves. I just pulled the devil. The devil. All right? The devil. They've been sleeping with the devil. They've been in cahoots with the devil. Page of Wands. Something new. Something new is going to come up. This is not the new. The Epstein stuff is not the new stuff. There's more. But we have to be patient because things don't work as fast as we want them to. Things will unfold and will happen and will reveal themselves in time. Okay? It's all about, again, synchronicities, the synchronicity of energies as well before the truth comes to light. Devil does mean bondage to the material. It also means like you see the devil a lot, like in readings when you read someone who's a narcissist or someone who's very low vibrational. It also indicates addiction. It also, that too. And I'm not talking about the street substances. It could be addiction to other substances. Okay. Other substances such as hallucinogenic, I said it, that really take your consciousness to another level. And they do a lot of that. We saw with Diddy that he was all about the other types of substances that would keep him going for his sexcapades, to say it mildly. But in the case of JayZ, it's more so because he wants to connect to entities and higher beings. Okay. And that's where he gets his power from. So that's also that. T is artists at the time did not respect Beyonce's come up. Yes, that's true. I was working at Sony at the time, so I know. She and her father operated, and then there was a huge switch. Let me just say, it's not just her. Um, and this is a fact because I was in the music industry. Beyonce's parents were not liked at all. They're very controlling, especially her mom and her dad, but especially her mom. And the Bay of back then in the late 90s, early 2000s is not the same Bay that we're seeing now. It's not. And I've said this before, this alter ego that she has, Sasha Fierce, the reason why she has an alter ego is because when she's performing, she is removing herself from her body. She's connecting to something else. And then when she stops performing, she comes back in. And she needs this. She needs the alter ego in order for her to be able to do that very, very easily, if you will. Everyone finds their way of doing things when it has to do with magic and how you work. And then just like psychics and mediums, not everyone works the same way, right? The most important thing is for psychic mediums to be ethical, all right? But we don't all work in the same way, in the same manner. Same with magic and stuff like that. Everyone works with it differently. There are rules to it as well. And well, with dark magic, there are no ethics whatsoever. But generally, with white magic, for instance, there are rules. There are rules. You cannot just do whatever you want. You've got to abide to the rules, universal rules as well. She and her father operated, and there was a huge switch. Yes, absolutely. All right, let me look at your questions first, and then we'll keep digging, if you will. Is Bay going to get caught up in this? Will she stand by him? She will stand by him because she doesn't have a choice. They're very much connected energetically. And she will stand by him until she. Let me say this. Every time I look at Bay's future down the line, I don't see her with him. I don't see her living in the US. I believe she will come back at some point and then move out again. I've said this before, there's issue with their daughter. What do I mean by that? It's a child. I want to be respectful, but there are issues with that child. It's there's something off with that child, okay? Nothing wrong. I mean, nothing wrong. There's in the sense of having a child that has issues, but I'm just saying that that child has issues that they are not transparent about. They don't have to be. They should protect the privacy of their children. I'm all for that. But the reason why, because you can make an example of something, right? If your child, for instance, is autistic, you can be open about it and make an example and say, listen, I too, I'm a celebrity. You know, I have all this money, but I'm dealing as a parent with, let's say, I'm just giving an example, nonverbal autistic child. And these are the challenges that I face. This is what I do. And maybe become sort of like a role model, someone where you inspire other parents or other people, right? But they're very, they're not transparent at all about the child. And I believe the reason why this child has certain issues, I'm not going to get into it, honestly, is because of their allegiance, if you will, and their beliefs and their involvement with energies and dark energies and all that. I told you, if you meddle with stuff like that, it's gonna come, it's gonna come back and find you one way or another, 100%. So it's unfortunate, but yeah. So yeah, she will stand by him for at least the next few years as well. Which daughter, the youngest or the oldest? Do they have an 8-year-old? Who's the 8-year-old or around that age? They have a boy named Sir. Wait, hold on. They have 2 daughters and 1 son. The 2 youngest are twins. I remember that. Yeah, you're right. A boy and a girl. The boy we never see. Uh-huh. How old are the twins? How old are the twins? Who's 8 years old? Or around that 8, 9? Which one? Yeah. It's the girl, it's not the boy. It's a girl, not the boy. Let's see. Will Beyonce stick by him even though he's downfall? Okay, I answered that. As I said at first, yes, but then eventually no. She won't have a choice, you guys. She will, even if she, let me say it differently. When that time comes, I truly believe that in her heart, she won't believe all the things about him, or she'll be a little bit in denial about things because Beyonce is not privy to everything that he does or he's involved with. Let's be real and let's be honest. So it's going to take her a while, but eventually she will start distancing and cutting herself off from that, from his energy. It's going to take a long time, you guys. It's going to take a long time for her to do that. So, and you know what, Beyonce, for her, and we know about the cheating. We've heard about what he's done to her and how she's been hurt by him in the past. But Beyonce, say what you will for her, and as you know, I'm not the biggest fan, not a fan whatsoever because of the readings that I've done, because of her energy and because who she's associated with. But I want to say this: family for her is very important. Her kids are important to her. She loves them. She is a good mom, okay? Or she tries to be the best mom she can be. So eventually, when she realizes that she needs to uh, cut that energy tie or that energy cord and cut him out for the sake of her children, she'll do it. She'll do it. That's what's going to make her do it. Not the legal stuff, not the bankruptcy. Yeah, because I do see in the future bankruptcy, him filing bankruptcy. That's going to happen. Not yet, but it will. Not all that, but the children. So I don't know if she's going to be worried about the safety of the children or what around the children, but this is what I know based off of what I got through my psychic insights and downloads. Okay, let's look at that pink diamond. Will he go to trial for any crimes or serve jail time? Let's ask the cards. Hold on. I'm just highlighting some questions before I get to that. Wait. I just saw something. Hold on in the chat. Hold on. The twins are 8. So there you go. It's the girl. Because the twins are boy, girl, right? So it's the girl. I told you. It's the girl. It's a girl and 8 years old. There you go. Because you asked. But we'll leave that alone. It's a child. We need to protect children. Okay, where was that question again? Let me bring it up. There you go. And before I go on, I want to give you a little gentle reminder to like this video. And if you're new here, do consider subscribing as well. And do also follow me. Oh, you can't see it here on social media. Everything is linked down below. And you will also find me on Substack. We are growing on Substack. There's so many. It's a great place to be, a great place to bring our community over. I do post articles, thoughts, essays, all of it, whatever comes to me every week. I'll write it down and I'll share with you. The last one I wrote, the last, if you will, like a blog post, or my last thoughts I wrote, was about how the spiritual community has gone so low that it is disgusting. All right. And why you all should use critical thinking and discernment before you believe everything that you see or anyone that you see online. So that's the latest that I've written. All right, let's go back to this. Hold on, I'm highlighting again because I can see all your questions. All right. Sean Carter. Okay. I'm being very specific with my question. I'm like, what's the outcome of his crimes? Like, what will be the outcome of the things that he's done and his crimes? Because don't forget, remember a pregnant girlfriend that he had? And what happened to her? Just saying. Knight of Pentacles. So he's going to try to weasel his way out of there via his trying to use money, connections, and whatnot. Hold on, there was a card here. That's 10 of Wands. I'm pulling one more card before I show it. Oh! He's 10 of Wands. Big trouble. Big trouble. Meaning he's got a lot on his mind right now. A lot on his mind. Scrambling, trying to how can I say this? Like, what I'm seeing is like trying to move things around, trying to hide things, trying to maybe even like move money around as well. He's definitely going to trial. All right. So he's not getting away with things that he's done. And the Page of Pentacles here, 10 of Cups. A lot of people are going, and the Knight of Wands. So justice is going to be served here eventually. Page of Pentacles. And this will happen once something new and something very specific with evidence and everything, not just like, Epstein file, something that was found in one of the files or one of the emails, or according to the statement of a victim. All right. I'm seeing something bigger coming up, very specific to JayZ with evidence. This is what will lead him to trial. Think Diddy, how it all started with Diddy. Okay, it was a snowball effect with Diddy, and it's going to be a snowball effect for JayZ. 10 of Cups and Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is coming in hot. Knight of Wands is coming in hot. He's wearing his armor. He's holding his wand here. And he's like, listen, you know what? I'm coming in, and the empire that you've built, well, I'm coming in and I'm taking that away from you. I'm going to destroy that for you. I'm coming in hot. So that's what happened. This is the energy around him. 8 of Swords. There is going to be jail time. Jail time. Yes. Again, it's with him. It takes a while. It's all going to be done, or everything's going to unfold by 2027, 8. Next couple of years. So it's going to take, it's step by step. It's a process. It's going to take time. But to answer your question, according to my cards, yes, he's totally seeing jail time, just like Diddy. Just like Diddy. What was the next question? Do they feel the same about Beyonce since she's his wife? Yes, because they know they're a team, you guys. They help energetically. They really feed off of each other's energies. And they're really like together when they're together and they work together. it's very, very powerful and very, very strong. So yes, they do. Listen, Beyonce will be seen as a victim, but it's all generally when this all starts unfolding, she'll be seen as a victim. And of course, she has her beehive and everything. But I'm not just talking about the beehive. People, just like now, people are very apprehensive and very reluctant to believe that JayZ or Pusha were part of this, or why would they be involved with all this? So the same with Bey, but eventually things are going to come out. And yes, it is going to affect Beyonce as well. Will Desiree Perez, a known FBI informant working for JayZ, snitch on him? I have no idea who this person is, or do I? I don't know. Maybe I do. So many questions, you guys. Hold on. Will Desiree Perez, a known FBI informant working for JayZ, snitch on him? Okay. Martin Desiree. Okay. While I was shuffling and asking the question, and I've just gone cold. I've got goosebumps. What I got was, I know she's an FBI informant or whatever, but I'm worried about her because I just heard that she will disappear. I don't know if they will disappear her, if you know what I mean, or she's going to disappear. I just heard that Desiree is going to disappear. Like, she's not going to be found. She's going to maybe even leave the country. The answer is no to your question. I'll pull a card for you as well so I can validate that. But I just heard a no, that she's not going to snitch on him. She's definitely going to just exit the country before it all comes to a head, if you will. The Star, there you go. She's not snitching. The Star. She's like, I've got to protect myself. I've got to get out of this, remove myself from this. Adios, sayonara, I'm gone. That's what I get. I'm going to try to be as fast as I can because there's so many questions. On Ghislaine, I have done on Milani, I haven't, but on Ghislaine, you'll find it on my channel. Just Google or just type on the search bar Ghislaine Maxwell, and you'll find the reading. I've done one on Epstein and one on Ghislaine, a deep dive. Very interesting reading, so you should check that out. Will he file for bankruptcy because he's actually going broke? Yes, he is. I just said that earlier. I know you probably asked this question before I said it. So yes, he will file for bankruptcy and he's going to lose almost everything. Okay. Yes, that's happening. Was Ashanti's career also affected negatively along with Brandy's and Elias? I just heard yes. Hold on, these just flipped. Page of Pentacles, they were all young and upcoming artists. Okay, Page of Pentacles, wanting to start a career, make money, find success, etc. Knight of Wands, we keep seeing this Knight of Wands. All right, so the Knight of Wands, again, it comes in aggressively. The Knight of Wands does not ask, it takes. It does. It's not going to come in politely and say, you know what, I'm considering doing this, or you know what, why don't we? No, the Knight of Wands has a plan, comes in, and he's action oriented, right? And he does things, so he takes action. This is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, yes, that's a yes to me. All right, Danny, is Rachel Chandler tied to JayZ with Epstein? I don't know who Rachel Chandler is, to be honest, or at least it doesn't come to me right now, but let's see. Rachel Chandler, please. Hold on, let me do a quick shuffle. Is Rachel Chandler tied to JayZ with Epstein? Ooh, did you see that one? That one flew out. Give me a second. Let me find my card. All right. Ooh, Nine of Cups. It's the wish card. That means, that to me is a yes, 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 yes. And I don't know who this person is, but I'm getting not only she tied to them, but she also really wants to be part of that group of people or that world or universe. I don't know who she is. Let's see. Is that kid who is suing him to take paternity test really his son? Oh my God. Okay, so I'm getting that, again, for entertainment purposes only. This is based on my opinion. They're not based on facts, etc., etc. I just saw and heard that a lot of them have children, have fathered children that are just here. Okay, they're around. And I would say yes, a lot. It's almost like a badge of honor, if you will, in that group of people, these disgusting people, where just fathering children is, no skin off my back kind of thing. But I just heard a lot of them have children that some they're aware of, some they're not aware of, that they have fathered. So, yeah. Ouch, that's bad. That's bad. Desiree Perez is also being sued by her own daughter. Oh, that's right. It's coming back to me now. Okay, I thought I heard that name before. I think someone asked me in one of my lives last year or 2 years ago about her, and yeah, the daughter said she's also allegedly involved in a lot of criminal things with Rock Nation. Is Desiree Perez? Is she the one? Remind me now. My mind's blocked. But isn't she the one who's like the managing director of Rock Nation, or am I mistaken here? She's okay. But thanks for the info. Okay, there's one more here. No, I have 3 more. Will the NFL fire him? Oh, good question. Good question. I heard eventually, yes. How will JayZ's career or downfall affect his NFL connections and ties? Give me two cards jumped out. They're gonna cut him out. They're gonna fire him. Yep, they're not going to be associated with him eventually when all this goes down. No. Yeah, look at this. The Queen of Swords comes in and she cuts. She's like, I'm done. I'm cutting. We don't need you. We don't want you. You're not good for us. And 4 of Cups is the card of, I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm down. I'm low. This doesn't look good. So to answer your question, eventually, yes, that will happen. Yeah, it came back to me. Thank you guys for jogging my memory, because I thought I remembered that name. Desiree and JayZ on Twitter, was she? Oh God, Nicki Minaj. That woman needs to I've done all reading on Nicki. Nicki needs stability right now. She needs stability. She doesn't need to be supporting anyone or coming out and honestly, she seems so vapid. Like, she just needs to lay low, work on her mental health, focus on her child. Anyways, I'm not going to go on a rant about Nicki. Do Bay's former group member, Kelly and Michelle, aware of the dark things Bay and Jay are into? 100%. 100%. Maybe they weren't aware of it at the time, back then. But yes, they do. They do. I'll pull a card for you just to validate. Well, flipped open. Well, this one just the Knight of Swords, which is part of the reason why they also did not want to get to they didn't want to be that closely involved in it. They saw this coming. They saw this coming that Bay would remove herself and start a solo career as well. 3 of Pentacles. But I do want to say that they, back in the day, Destiny's Child they were very, at the beginning, were very tight knit. They were very bonded, very close. But they knew about, not all of it, about some of the darkness, if you will. And I believe the reason why they knew a little bit, or they suspected, or they saw things here and there, is because back at that time, Bay was not that heavily involved. She was, but she wasn't like I feel now. I feel now like if you entered their mansion, and how I was shown is like they do have rooms, like rooms where they do rituals. They have habits that are very dark, and they have like a lot of symbolic stuff all around their house. So they're really deep into it now, but at the time she wasn't that deep into it, if you know what I mean. Not ridiculous like him. Okay, sorry. So that was a question. Does Epstein or Ghislaine have children? Yep. I'm going back to what I said earlier. They all have children. Not Ghislaine, though. I just heard no. She has been pregnant, though. She has been pregnant before, but it didn't. She didn't have the baby. Okay. With regards to Epstein, as I said, a lot of these men have fathered children. Some are alive, some are not. Take that as you will. We're going to talk about it on the members live so I can talk openly, but think about what I just said. People suspect Jay fathered Kelly's kids. Kelly Ronan? Is that who you... No. I'm getting a no. Give me a second. King of Swords. So many swords reading, JayZ, you guys. 8 of Pentacles. No. I think that's just a rumor. There's just a rumor going around. I don't see validity in that rumor. How does Beyonce's family feel about all the allegations coming out of JayZ? Are they worried? Okay, give me a second real quick, you guys. Hold on. Give me a second because something's popped up here. Give me a second. Sorry about that. I'll get to this in a moment. Okay. So how does Beyonce family feel about all the allegations coming out about JayZ? Yeah, I would say yes, but they also have this like false sense of confidence, if you will. Like they are worried, but they don't believe that it's going to get to the point where this could completely destroy Beyonce's name or reputation. And mind you, having said that, I do want to say that Beyonce's reputation and brand is not going to get, it's not going to get destroyed. All right, it's not going to get destroyed. It's she's definitely going to fall a peg or two, drop a peg or two regarding how people see her and her sales and all that, but it's not like she's going to disappear to uh you know, somewhere and her career is going to be destroyed, or you know what I mean. So they are worried, but I also feel their energy, like they're confident that they can manipulate things and that they can throw JayZ under the bus if they have to. And having said that, I do believe that the Knowles family, Beyonce's family, are very smart, or very street smart, if you will. So they do have aces in their sleeves, and they do have things or evidence and stuff that are locked away just in case. And just in case, not to harm someone else, but to protect the family name and their daughter. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing with them. Yeah, is Kelly Matthew Knowles? Is Kelly Matthew Knowles' child? Who's Kelly Matthew Knowles? You mean Kelly? What do you mean? Her sister? Sorry, if you don't mind rephrasing the question. Who's Tim? Those kids look like Kelly and her hubby. Oh, so you're talking about, okay. So it paid off to keep quiet. Solange. No, I think Solange just wants nothing to do with all that, with that world. So she's just keeping quiet. I don't feel that she was paid off or anything, but I do feel that for her safety, her mental health, for her sake, she's completely stepped back from all this. She knows things, but you know, she'll keep her head down, she'll keep a low profile. She's just tries to move on and do her thing. Was Melania's movie an attempt to distract from the Epstein files? No, I don't think so. That's not a distraction. Bombing Iran is a distraction, or you know, bombing some other country, or I don't know, just throwing some kind of big public figure under the bus with the Epstein files is a distraction. But no, Melania's movie is also, I heard and I read. So again, you don't know what's true. There's a lot of propaganda out there, but I heard that it's like barely anyone went and watched it. So I don't know. I haven't been following the case, or the case. I haven't been following the story, if you will. So, but no. Did the elevator incident of Solange have anything to do with JayZ's accusations? Oh, it was bad. I just thought it was bad and dark. And did this have to do with anything with High Priestess? There's a lot more to the elevator incident than we know. What I'm hearing, without them being specific, is that incident and that elevator created a domino effect, and it really changed things within. And that was like this, like the, let's say, how can I say this? So this is what changed the whole dynamic of the relationship of the two sisters. It really changed things, and Solange was able to see things clearly, and she started distancing herself pretty much after all this happened, although she was already, you know what, what I am connecting to Solange's energy is that she never liked JayZ. All right. I don't feel that they got along. I don't feel that dinner time at the Knowles house when the family got together, that it was, I feel like Solange and JayZ would really sort of like annoy each other. It's almost like press these buttons, and they would do it on purpose because he knew, or he could feel, or he knew that she did not like him, and he would like, he would like poke, 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 and she would fight back. So this is what I'm getting. It's reading interesting, but yeah, it did change. It did have to do. It had something to do with JayZ's accusations. Mm, 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 mm. Some say is autistic. I don't know, but that has nothing to do with everything else, to be honest. Whether she's autistic or not does not affect or influence the way anyone should see her, or it doesn't. It has nothing to do with all the other stuff that she's involved with, about her husband, about their friends and their circle. It has nothing to do with it. So many questions about the genetics, if you will, or the connections of the Knowles family. I don't know. Why did I hear that he's her uncle or an uncle? Why did I what I just heard uncle. Does her dad have a brother? Does anyone know? And is this brother younger than him? If he does, then mm, I would be maybe researching into that, because when I asked my guides, this is what I got. I heard uncle, dad. I saw the dad, her dad, and I saw the uncle who's younger. But if anyone knows, please do let me know. What was the old elevator reading about with Bay and JayZ and Salah? Well, it got physical. It got ugly in the elevator. There was an argument, and it's been so long, I don't remember the details, but I'll just say it got ugly between them. Is it safe to say Beyonce and Nicki aren't friends anymore? Were they ever? That's the next question. Were they really, truly, authentic, real friends? No, no. So I don't think they're friends anymore, because they never were like real friends. Like ride or die besties. No. Mm. I need to do I want, and I you know what, I even have the thumbnail ready for that. A lot of times when I have ideas for videos, or I feel like drawn to do a reading on someone, I make the thumbnails. And I've done one on Donald Trump, because I do want to get into Donald Trump, because we've talked about Donald Trump around the politics, right? Around his plans and what he's planning to do, and the elections and all of that. But we haven't really read Donald Trump, like go deep into his energy, where I read him, really read him as a person. So let's save that question for that video. I have the thumbnail. It's been in my folder for a couple of months, because 2 months ago is when I thought, or I had the idea, we really need to look into Donald Trump and see who he really is on an energetic level, what his karma is, why did he become president of the United States second time round, regardless of what you think about elections being rigged. We've talked about that one. But just go into that. I just want to connect his energy and see, and I may do it in combo with Melania. So I might do in one video Donald Trump and Melania, two separate readings though. So hold that thought, please, because that's coming up. I've been wanting to do this. Oh, Baba? the identity, who's Baba. Okay. Everyone's talking about his about whether they're adopted, whether related, all that. Okay, thanks, Sunshine. I appreciate it. Kelly Rowland was adopted by Matthew and Tina when she was preteen because Kelly's mom couldn't take of her anymore. Thank you. This is something that I didn't know, to be honest, or if I did, I forgot. But thank you for sharing that information. Solange kicked and or hit JayZ in an elevator after an award. Thanks for explaining. Yeah, it got ugly. It gets violent. It gets violent. Because you can tell that she's like in that video. Remember, like you can see the rage. Like she has no control of herself. There's rage there. Thank you, Sunshine, for putting context in everybody's comments and questions. So interested from a soul level with karma. Yes, we need to do like more of a like on a deeper energy level as well. 100%, that's gonna come. And what our karma energy is, you need to book a reading. You need to book a reading. And if you want to book a reading with me, everything is linked down below, or you see my website scrolling through the screen now, FemmeTarot.com. You can book your reading now. And I highly recommend that you do book your reading because you'll have to wait for a while. But if you are, so for all of you, speaking of, if you are in North America, Canada, okay, area, the next availability I have is end of April. Okay, but if you're in Europe, I do have slots available March and April, just so you know. Or for instance, Vasiliki, you're Greek, so if you're in Greece, so am I, located here. I could fit you in earlier because I have morning slots. I have a system, you guys, with my readings. Is again, people from all over the world booking readings with me. So I have a system with the time zones and everything because it's hard. There's so many time zones. Okay, so back to what we were saying. Yes, I know. She was angry. It was because of an award show in the 90s, right? I mean, there's so many of these things. Thank you, Freckle Face. Thank you so much. Yes, they can be life-changing. And also, when you come into these readings, you always bring your notepad and a pencil. You can record on your phone. I don't mind. Just let me know beforehand. Ask for my consent and my permission, but I'm okay with it as long as you ask me. You can record the videos. It's perfectly fine. But I always highly, highly, highly suggest that you take notes because readings, there's a lot of information that comes through in readings. And a lot of times people come in looking for specific answers. All right. So they're very focused on that. But so much comes up in readings. And because they're so focused on specific things, they kind of like miss details and messages and information that comes through in a reading. So always take notes because you need a few days for you to process the reading and what comes through. And of course, it's good to know because then you can go back to your notes and see whether the reading was good or not. Also, there is speculation about Beyonce's twin son, Sir Knowles, being autistic and possibly nonverbal. The rumor started when we started to see his twin sis Rumi in public a lot more with Blue and Jay, right? Well, it could be true, but what I received from Spirit is that there's something about the girl, and it's not, and I'm not specifically because I know what it is, but I don't want to do that. It's a child, so I want to protect children. Their privacy and everything. So what I will say is that it has nothing. What I see with a girl is that it's not autism or or anything that is related to neurodivergence or anything else. It's something else. Something how can I say this? Something serious, let's just say. Do you give pre-recorded personal readings? You mean like where I record a video and I send it to you? I've done this for people who wanted, for various reasons and due to circumstances, they did not want to have a live one-on-one with me via Google Meets, via Zoom, right? For personal reasons. So they've asked me to do that. So they've sent me the questions beforehand, and I did, and I did the reading, recording myself and then sending them that. So if this is what you prefer, it's always easier, it's always better to do it live, meaning because questions come up, you guys will have questions, there are things that you, and also in a reading I open and I clear the energy, I make space for both of us when I read you, always. And always after a reading, you're open, but you're also very, very much cleansed, because I always set that intention that once the reading is over, we close the circle, but you're also very much cleansed and protected, because this is the intention I set right before we start. Just before you come up on the screen or I come up on the screen for you, I do all this for you. So it's very helpful, because the energy, you will also experience things. It's almost like I've opened up the door for spirit. So for instance, if you book a mediumship reading and you want to connect to a loved one, that door is going to be open because you've had the reading. So you will start feeding your loved one even more. You'll start noticing signs. You're going to have visitations, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, in as an exception, I will do these pre-recorded readings if someone wants it for personal reasons. Allison, honey, they all are. They all are. And Satan, listen, there is the term Satanist or devil worshippers. Devil worshippers is one, Satanist is another, and people who use dark arts and are part of cults and they're deep into the occult are not only, they're not Satanists, so this is not the right term. They're just dark nights. They're nights of the darkness. So they work in darkness and the shadows, and they feed off of it. And this is how they manifest, using darkness. We manifest using the light. They manifest what they want using darkness. So the term is not correct, Satanists, but in some way, yes. I should have asked to record. Yes, next time, if you want to record 100%, you can on your phone. Unfortunately, Google Meets doesn't let me record the reading, but you're welcome to. Thank you, everybody, for your very kind words. Rumi and Blue attended the Super Bowl last year with Jay, but Sir was nowhere in sight. Rumi joined Beyonce and Blue on the CC tour. I've got to say, if Sir has, so I could be also, it could be Sir, all right? It could be. Because if he has stronger feminine energy, and I'm not talking about his sexual orientation, he's a kid, all right? That's not what I mean. We all have feminine and masculine energy. Some people, and it has nothing to do with, again, if you're gay, if you're fluid, whatever, some people have, and it depends on what we're going through and the energy around us. Some people emit more of a masculine energy and some people more of feminine energy, regardless of their sex. So it could be that it could be Sir that I'm picking up, but he comes up with very feminine energy, which is why I said it's an 8-year-old. It's the 8-year-old girl, Rumi, right? So could be him, but I'm just telling you what I got. Well, thank you, Freckleface. Yeah, you guys, these readings, they are, I'm me. You see what I'm like. So it's not just a reading. It's like hanging out with your best friend who's a psychic medium and reads tarot. And we're just sitting there hanging out and pulling the cards, and I'm helping you out. I give you advice. I'm there to support you, cheerleader. It's not just a typical reading with a typical, it's like, honestly, And this is not what I'm saying. This is what so many people have said to me. They're like, we love readings with you because it feels like we're like with a bestie. We feel comfortable. It's fun. It's light. Of course, we have readings that are heavy, but I've been doing this for so long. I know how to handle these energies and also how to uplift someone. You will never leave a reading feeling down, low, anxious, even if the reading is not great. Even if things come up that are not great, I guarantee you, you're not going to leave this reading feeling any negative way whatsoever. You're going to feel stronger because I'm going to give you advice. I'm going to give you tips. I'm going to help you. I'm not going to leave you like that. All right? Just so you know. The more we hear about Beyonce as an individual, she doesn't sound like a good person. By the way, she also has a stellium in Virgo, just a reminder. I believe she was born 4th of September and he was born 4th of December. He's a Sag. But listening to her music, are we feeding into, oh yeah, she does a lot of energy harvesting. Remember the concert she gave for the opening of the Atlantic Hotel in Dubai? Do you remember that? Do you remember watching the videos? She actually got a lot of money for that appearance. Do you remember the siren type of, she's like, oh, yeah. Remember all that? Sorry for your apologies to your ears and eardrums for that. But do you remember that? That was, to me, when I heard it, it was like sirens calling. Like in ancient Greek mythology, you had the sirens and luring in the fishermen, right? You know, they would sing in this beautiful voice, and the fishermen would be like, let's follow the voice. And then they would see the sirens, and they would be like, oh, you know, enchanted. And then they would eat away on their soul. This is exactly what she was doing. Energy harvesting. Energy replay crew. Some people will watch this. I know I'm gonna get the comments underneath. Ah, you're a hater. I'm not a hater of anyone. I'm a truth seeker and truth teller. Full stop. Truth is not for everyone. If you want to hide under the blanket of darkness and of ignorance, that's on you, not on me. Okay? I'm just here to tell you what I get, what I see, and I'm sharing it with you. I'm opening people's eyes here. My eyes are being opened. I'm not God. My eyes are being opened doing these readings. Me too. I'm learning a lot from these. So are you. So, yeah, that was energy harvesting, unfortunately. Can you do a reading on the state of Canada? Yes, I could. Yeah, of course. I can do predictions because I want to do a part 2 on my predictions because look, I've got notes. Where are they? I've got notes, you guys. I've got notes. And I want to add them on a second video. So I could maybe even add on that video a section for Canada. But then you know what's going to happen? Everyone's going to be like, how about Australia? How about Hungary? How about Sweden? I can't do the whole world, you guys. I can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. Thank you, everybody, for your kind words. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Yeah, do book your reading soon because you know what it's like. You'll have to wait a while. I do my best. Really do my best to, and especially people who if they're going through something major in their life, they really, really need I will squeeze you in. You know, it's like I will do this for you. But I also need to protect my own energy, and I also need to have time to replenish my energy because it's a lot. Doing 3 or 4 readings a day is a lot. It's a lot. But luckily, I have a team around me, not just my spirit guides. I have a team around me of healers that are helping me regenerate my energy, get rid of attachments, because that's part of the job. Okay. So I have a good team where they look after me, and I go quite often to get cleanses, deep cleanses, aura healing, all of that. Oh, Karen, I really appreciate what you're saying. It's honestly, it's I I've said this before. You guys, it's when I say this is the most beautiful community on YouTube, and the fact that this is a family, it is. We are a family. I'm invested in your life. I care about you. I want the best for you. I always tell you at the end of a reading, send me an email, send me updates, tell me what's going on. I care. It's not like done, got my money, done the reading, I'm done. No, I honestly care. So that's why the readings feel very warm and genuine to you, because this is who I am. You guys see me. Here I am. All right, so you guys, since we're at it for 1.5 hours, I have to stop doing this clapping in front of the microphone. It's so annoying. Apologies to anyone who's wearing earphones, because that would annoy me too. Okay, I was watching someone that kept making too much noise in front, close to the microphone. All right, so that's it with JayZ regarding the Epstein and that connection. We will do a deep dive. We will get to Epstein. Epstein. Why did I say Epstein? JayZ. The same with Donald Trump, right? What we're going to do is we're going to look at the energy deep. And I even want to go with everyone that we read, especially the ones that we feel they have a darker energy. I always like to look at their childhood energetically, because a lot of things happen. These are formative years, and a lot can happen in their childhood. Some have contracts, some have karma, some have reincarnated for specific reasons, right? So I like to look at all this because that just really gives you a better and clearer picture of these people. So yeah, but with specifically the Donald Trump I'm going to do on this main channel, but the JayZ stuff, because there are things that I've seen that are going to come up in the future that are dark, and I need to put them behind a paywall. Like, it will be for the members, but I'll give you a heads up, you guys. I'll let you know when I'm ready to do that. If I can sing, no, I cannot. Well, it depends. I can I can sing certain notes, if you will. Like, if it's not too, I'll tell you what, I'm a very good opera singer. Yes, fun fact about me. So is my dad. Fun fact. We're very good. We have an opera voice, but yeah, that's about it. I know it's a big thing. But when I was younger, it wasn't cool to be an opera singer. I wanted to be able to have a good voice. So when we went for karaoke, or when I hosted karaoke, because I love karaoke, I wanted to have a good voice. Nope. All right, so you guys, before you go, try to stick with me, because this is important. As you know, I like to prioritize missing children when it comes to true crime readings. True crime viewers, those of you who love true crime, I'll be back doing long form true crime videos. But I always like in these lives to also try to see and connect with a missing child and try to help as much as possible. Okay. Hold on. Do you ever get worried about putting your face out there with these readings? What should I be worried about? To be honest, energetically, I'm protected. I do protection rituals. I cleanse. I do it all. I have protection water here, which has been blessed and has been touched by the angels, if you will. So what should I be worried about to put my face out there? I speak the truth. I mean, I'm not lying. I'm not here. I would worry about if I was a liar, if I was a scammer, if I wasn't me. But I have nothing to hide. This is me. So I'm not worried. Energetically unprotected. Now, if you're talking about litigation and stuff like that, aren't we all? Anyone who's a public figure, have you seen what's happening out there? People can accuse you about anything. They can strike your channel, they can sue you, they can do anything they want out there just because. Just because. That is more worrying to me than anything else. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying anything that I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but not towards killer, like unalivers, PDFs, people like that. No, I'm not going to be respectful whatsoever. All right, so let's get to our next reading because I want to wrap it up soon. It's almost 11 o'clock at night over here. And here we go. Okay, so here we have, this is Dulce Maria Alavez. She went missing back in 2019. She was 5 years old at the time, and she disappeared from a playground in New Jersey. So what happened was she was playing with her brother, who is nonverbal, at the playground, and her mom, who was quite a young mom and had 2 children. So she had the mom had her and had Dulce and her brother, but also was pregnant with another baby. Another baby was on its way. And the mother was sitting in her car. So she wasn't at the playground with the children. She was sitting in the car helping her younger sister. This is how young the mom was, by the way. Younger sister with her homework. That's odd to me. Okay. First of all, as a mom, I would never leave a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old alone in a playground, and me sitting in a car where I don't have, I cannot see them. Okay. I don't have visibility. I cannot see my children. There's no friggin' way. So to me, that in itself, but that again doesn't mean that she's at fault here. She is, obviously, she's responsible for those children, but she didn't do anything wrong. I believe it's because she was very young. I believe she was 24 at the time. So can you imagine that she had those children? So Dulce, she had Dulce when she was like 18, 19, young. She was a baby herself when she had the baby. So let's just say that is error of judgment, just being in the car. Now, there have been, so this happened 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So what witnesses came forward and they said that they saw a man, Hispanic man, leading the child, Dulce, to a red car. Was it a van? I believe it's a van, they said, to be specific. And that's all we know. So the police searched the area, searched the playground, searched the park around the playground, they couldn't find anything. This is the only thing that we know. And by the way, I just want to bring this up just in case. So there is a reward if you have any tips that may lead to finding this beautiful little girl. So this happened 7 years ago. She would be now 12 years old, around 12 year old. I want to share with you what I got. So I connected beforehand because I knew that the whole JayZ reading was going to take a long time. It was going to take most of the time of this live. I'll just tell you, I've written them down here, what I got. So first of all, the good news is that she's alive. She's alive. That's why the police couldn't find anything, couldn't find any clues, couldn't find any evidence, any DNA, any piece of clothing, nothing. Speaking of clothing, I did see, I believe I know what happened, and the one thing that I don't know is where she is, but I will try to connect now as we're here on this live and try to find her. So let me just tell you what I got. Speaking of clothing, I did see that they did enter, the man that took her did go into a shop. I believe it was Target. I'm not sure, but it looked like Target because I could see the logo, and bought different clothing for Dulce. So he made her change her clothes. The other thing is the first thing I saw when I tried to connect to her energy was she loved chocolate candy, and especially anything that had chocolate and caramel in it. That was her favorite, and I do see her eating this candy, this chocolate candy, and I believe this is how this man lured her, is by offering her candy. I believe I didn't see it, but if spirit showed me the candy and that's the first thing, I believe this was like the bait, like how he would lure Dulce. I also want to say this, that Dulce, connecting to her energy, I felt like she was mature for her age, like she was very well spoken, like she was very, she seemed, her mannerisms and the way that she spoke made her seem older than she was. Like I'm just getting more mature energy around her. It might be because she grew up with her grandma. And speaking of grandma, I did see that she was very, very close to her grandma, maternal grandma. Um, yeah, because maternal grandma basically raised the two children, her two grandchildren, as though they were her own, is what I'm getting. So the next thing, I have my notes here, that's why I'm looking down. So she was enticed by a man. I'm not seeing if he's Hispanic or anything. The only thing I do see, blue jeans, thick boots, thick boots. Weird. I see like a bandana, like a red bandana tied, like, tied on his neck. I don't know why. Um and I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't normally see this. I don't know. But I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Now, what I found interesting is that she kept showing me boats. Boats, boats, boats. She loves boats. And what I saw and heard was that she saw boats when she was taken. She saw boats for the first time, live boats in real life, boats for the first time, and she was impressed by them. So, does this mean that she was taken to a port? Is she on a boat? And I would say so, because I also saw an island, not that island, before anyone says anything, but I did see an island, a boat. She kept showing me, and I was connecting, because she's alive. I was connecting to her higher self. Just enthusiasm, excitement about boats. She loves how they rock. She loves seeing them in person. I'm reading my notes. So the other thing that I heard, this is the most important thing about this case, is that this man is not the one who has her, or who, she's not with this man, this Hispanic man, this one with the bandana. Okay, he sold her. This is a case, a clear case of child trafficking. Because I saw she was sold, and whoever she was sold to was the one who put her on a boat, or was with her on a boat. I don't know. I wasn't shown. I don't know. And she liked being on the boat, even though she was scared. It was sort of like a distraction for her. They do bribe her, if you will, with candy. She loves candy. I don't know if she was not allowed to eat. It feels like almost like maybe she wasn't allowed to eat a lot of candy at home, and now they gave her as much as she wanted, and that made her happy. Something about the candy, because it came up, kept coming up. Chocolate in general. She loves chocolate. So let me try and see. I'll try to remote view now, see if it works, if I can just get something for her. Oh, I just heard Mexico. I don't know if she's in Mexico now, or they went via Mexico somehow. I'm getting Mexico City. Not even rurally or anywhere. I just heard Mexico City. But is she there now? Did she go via? Did you? Did they just cross through? I don't know. Oh, they went south. No, she was in Mexico for a year. For what? For a year, I would say. But she's not in Mexico now. She's somewhere in South America. She's on an island. She's in the Caribbean. Where is she? She's on an island, but I don't want you guys thinking that it's some kind of remote island or thinking about the Epstein Island. This is an island that is very, very close to the coast. Like it's easy to get to it, like through speedboat, or you could even canoe to the island. This is how close it is. It's just some kind of like, it's not remote, but this island has nothing on it. Like there are only a few like buildings, and these look even like derelicts. They're just not lived in. But there's some kind of it looks like some kind of bunker. Like, because I'm seeing like a door or a doorway which is hidden in some like in some kind of remote area where there's a lot of like plants and shrubs and stuff like that. And if you would have to know where the door is for you to find it, and that's where it's like that's how you get access to this. I'm calling it a bunker for lack of better word. Um because that's how it seems to me. I just heard that this island was used in the Second World War. That's why the buildings there look destroyed, look like derelicts. It was used by soldiers in the Second World War. There's no electricity, nothing there. It's just I don't want people to find this island because she's not alone there. There are other kids there. It feels like a hub of some sort, and it's just like they take the kids there and then they move them or they take them according to the needs. They take them to wherever they need to be, and then once they're done, they come back there. It's like some kind of hub. Um Near Argentina, I want to say. I don't know. We'll have to look at Google Maps here. If anyone wants to do the work, you're very welcome to. Um, some kind of it's like because I can see like from the island. I'm on the island now, and I do see the mainland. I do see the mainland, so it's not far. It's not far at all. The water is quite deep there, very deep, I want to say. And also, like, the current is sort of weird, so it's not like the typical type of, like, current there. There are times when the current can just be very unpredictable. She's alive, though. She is alive. I hope we find her. I hope someone finds her. I'm really working hard to get some more, as many details or information I can. I keep seeing red around her. I don't know if she was wearing red or she changed into something red at the time of disappearance, at the time of abduction, because this is an abduction. It's I just want to say, and I heard her, it's her mom did nothing wrong, okay? Oh, okay. So this man that lured her and abducted her actually is someone who knows one of her mom's relatives. One of the relatives sold her, for God's sakes. This man, the bandana, the jeans, the thick boots, a relative of Dulce and her mom's. And he sold her, basically to someone else, to another man who then took her, and she went via like a whole thing. Because I feel like she was in Mexico for months before they moved her again. Yeah. So if anyone from her family or anyone who's involved in this case who's watching this, I would start looking very closely at relatives, immediate and extended family, 100%. Alibis, where were they at the time? What are their connections? What are their motives? This is how they will start, unwinding this case. I'm asking my guides now if she's going to be found. Give me a second. When she turns 15. But she's not going to be found. So this is the information I'm getting. At the age of 15, her age of 15, when she turns 15, they're not going to find her because they're looking specifically for her and they end up finding her. But there's going to be some kind of operation where they're going to uncover this this network of horrible people, and they will eventually find this, where these children and young adults are all kept. So yeah, she doesn't remember who she is. She's got a different name now. So DNA testing will be required 100%, because I also feel like, let me just bring this up. This is a progression of what she would look like now, or this was, I believe, a couple of years ago, how she would look like then. My guys are saying she's changed quite a bit. Like the progression is a bit off. Like she's changed. And I'm not surprised, given what she's probably been through and what's been done to her. That can completely change your features and your face and your body and everything, everything. Even accents. You might adopt an accent, or your speech pattern might change. Trauma, you guys, trauma. It can be very taxing on someone. So this is what I'm getting. So I want to say that this is good news, meaning it's not good news because I cannot share with you, but because I don't want to disturb you. But you can imagine if she's been sold to some kind of network, blah blah blah, what she's been through. So it's good news that she's alive and she's going to be found eventually, but she's not going to be herself. I hope she gets lifelong therapy for everything that she's been through, and she needs to reunite with her brother. I really do. I feel like I feel like gaps in her memory, but she remembers, partly remembers her brother, her younger brother. They were quite attached, and so I would love to see her reunite at least with her brother. You know what I mean? Because ah I get so emotional with these things, with these readings. I do, but this is a good reading because she is alive and she will be found alive despite what she's been through. And she will reunite with her family. So that's good news. And let's focus on the good and the positive and not the negative and the bad. I just thanked her. Oh wow. Okay, that was good. What are you guys saying? Yes, she will. Yes, she will. No, it feels like a relative to me, not a friend, but a relative, like blood relative. Um, that's a good question. I feel mother's side. I feel mother's side. Mother did nothing wrong except the fact that she stayed in the car and she wasn't supervising her kids. But I just want to put it out there. Mom is distraught. Curacao, yeah. Didn't the UK and Argentina had a war against each other over the Falkland Islands? Of course they did. Of course they did. And oh my God, if you guys think that right now there's just a lot of misinformation and a lot of like cover-ups regarding political stuff, you didn't live in the UK back when the Falkland Islands was happening, and back when Thatcher was the prime minister, and the uh, just the BBC, the way that we're covering this was it's a case study now. It's become a case study. The way they covered it was just so unethical. The lying, the covering of what it just horrific. So we all know how this thing goes. Yes, they will, because they will eventually find all of them. Yes, they will be brought to justice. That's what I said, Paula. That's exactly what I said when we started the reading. That the live, that it felt like a year. It felt much longer than 1 month. What is the man who abducted her like? You mean like features and stuff? Uh, I can't see his face, but I can tell you. Sorry, I'm a bit cold because I've switched off everything because of the because I'm afraid of the water and the electricity. But I mean my space heater, so I'm quite cold. Features. I can't see them. Face is blurred out, but I can tell you he's got longish hair, so it's not like a shortcut. It's more like, think of like a French cut. Men have a French cut, which is like a bit longer here, and this is the and wavy, and it's brown. That's all I can see. All I can see with him. I don't know. I'm not getting that information. I didn't get that. I only got what I shared with you guys. Um, is he still in the US? I believe he is in the US. Not I believe, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he is in the US because he's not the one who took her there. There was a transaction. So he handed over Dulce to someone else in the UK, I was gonna say, in the US. Older than the mom. I don't know, 40s. I want to say mid 40s, mid 40s. But again, I can't see his face, so I can't tell. But just by looking at his posture, even in the way he's dressed, I would say 40s, early 40s, mid 40s, if that helps. And the red car, by the way, I'll just tell you this last piece of information that's just come through before we wrap it up. The red van or red car that witnesses saw, let me just tell you, this is not the car that he normally drives or drove at the time. Whether it was, I just heard that he borrowed it off of a friend, the car. It's not his. So if the family or if anyone is trying to find the relative who drove a red car back in 2019, it's not that easy, and he's not that dumb. He borrowed a car from someone. That's not his car. Okay? The car that he put her in is not his car. Unfortunately. The year starts on your solar return. Officially, your year, our individual year. The energy shifts, the energy changes on our solar return, which is our birthday. So yeah. Or could it just me almost like it feels like a hold? No, there's just a lot of astro movement happening right now. Neptune meeting Mars, in Aries. It's just there's a conjunction there, which is why there's a lot of like there's the energy so dramatic. And speaking of deaths at the beginning of this live, all right, with so many, because so many things have happened. There was also a deadly accident in Turkey, for instance, as well. There's another accident. There's just a lot, and that's because of this happening. But February will feel a little bit lighter, okay, compared to January. But still, this is another year that is going to keep us on our toes. As I said, we have to brave through and do our best until 2027, when everything will start falling into place. The dust will start settling. There's a lot that will start balancing out on a collective level. So we just really have to brave through this year as well. All right, everybody, that's it. We've been on this live for 2 hours. Of course, time it just moves so fast when you're having fun and you're with your people. And I really appreciate you all for being here. On your way out, don't forget to like this video and do subscribe if you are new here. I love you all. Have a beautiful week ahead. I should be able to put out a couple of videos, which is my part 2. I know I say this, but it's busy. It's busy. All right. I will try to do it this week, but we'll see. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I would rather surprise you than disappoint you. Let's just say that. Thank you all. Take good care of yourselves. Till next time. Bye.